Once again, it's hot out there. I decided I'm gonna go ahead and replace that compressor on that truck just because I don't like the way it sounds. My cousin says it sounds right. They all make that racket, but I don't know. It don't sound good to me. And Toe Wrecker left a comment, said it sounded bad, so I guess he knows more about it than I do. I'm an admitted AC non-expert. I did put the AC on this car though, and it works. Kinda. Not too impressed with that vintage air system. It doesn't keep the car real cool on a hot day. So we'll see what else we get into here. Maybe we'll play with a Crosley a little bit and look through the van or something. It's not really foggy out there, it's just my windows are dirty. Here's something interesting. Well, not really interesting isn't the right word. Annoying. I plugged that drill press in that when it was down here on the floor and it worked fine. I set it up there on the workbench. Watch this. Blows the GFI every time. I don't understand it. Well, the only thing I can figure is I was bonehead and left it in the back of the truck when it rained. And maybe when I jostled it around, a little bit of water's inside that motor. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe. I decided I'm going to put a new compressor on that truck. My cousin says it sounds okay, but I just don't like the sounds of it. I'm going to replace it. Of course, the store don't have one, so they got to order it. Look who's coming. But I do need to put an exhaust manifold on the passenger side, exhaust manifold gasket on the passenger side. I need to change the water neck and do some other stuff. It's pretty hot out there. I gotta bake in the heat all day at work as a rule, so I may baby myself. We might look through the van a little bit. Maybe fool with the Crosley. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go where the mood takes me. Alright, here's the game plan. It's awful hot out there, so I'm gonna back the dually. I think I'm gonna name it Julie. Julie the Dually. It's a good name, ain't it? Anyway, I'm gonna back that dually out of the way. And I'm gonna back the Firebird outside. I'm gonna put it right there. And then I'm going to fire up the little Crosley and bring it inside. Play around with that where it's cooler. And then maybe when the sun angle is less than it is now, I'll go ahead and put an exhaust manifold gasket on that truck and maybe change the thermostat housing. I gotta pamper myself a little bit. Alright, I decided I'm going to do a Crosley cold start of sorts. But it's like 90 degrees, so it's not really cold. But so far it started every time I've tried this. I didn't touch the gas. Once the starter scares the crap out of you, she fires right up. With 40 plus pounds of oil pressure. I'm gonna see if the Firebird will fire up and back it out now. Just listen to it. Got some kind of little tapping noise there. I ain't sure what that is. And the gas, you can smell it, is bad, but it seems to run good on it, which is peculiar. Runs good on bad gas. Now this one does not have a Tillotson carburetor like the Crosley, or an Edelbrock like Julie the Dually. No, it probably won't start quite as easily. But let's see if it. This probably hasn't run in a month. It is kind of cold. It's like 75 in here. Come on, sweetheart. now we'll film the little car coming in. Hope it ain't like that 36 Ford video where I hit the workbench. We ain't got no brakes. Safe and sound. Well, after sitting out there, it's a hot little car, which probably caused the headliner to fall down. But that's no big deal. We can fix that. It smells bad. So, first off, we need to see why we don't have any brakes. It'll get brakes if you pump the pedal about 40 times, so maybe it's just got a bunch of air in it, but we'll see. One nice thing about this little car is it's little. Look here. Look at all the room I got. Big F-350 takes up the whole place. Here's a couple neat things about the little guy. It don't have no cylinder head. So I guess that means I can put all the boost I want to it. Won't blow a head gasket. Might be something to think about. And it's got like a dry shaft that comes up through there that runs with a ring and pinion that runs a cam. Pretty interesting. I tied a rag around the oil breather there because for some reason it drips a lot of oil right there when it's running. And I think I remember Mr. Cutworm telling me I needed to put the voltage regulator on here. And there's one laying on the floorboard, so I guess I'll look into that. But first, I need to find out why we don't have any brakes. Which means I need to find my jack. So I guess I better look for that. Look who decided to join us.
Hey.
What you doing with a trucker cup?
Drinking lemonade.
Why are you holding the back of your head?
Because it's hot out there and I'm holding my hair up.
It is hot. It's blistering hot.
Yeah, that pool looks refreshing.
Yeah, our little 6-foot pool.
10 foot.
Oh, it's 10. Excuse me. Here's a neat little idea if you're building a little hot rod. Look how that hood support works. Just slides on the little rod there.
Nifty.
Alright, I gotta go find a jack. You know where my jack is?
There was one in the back of the truck, but that got taken out.
I think
I think there's one down by the house.
that's where I took it out at. Like a bonehead.
Now
Alright.
you gotta get it all the way back up here.
Yeah. I just found out why she came to see me.
This is the only reason.
She's got a callus on her foot and wants me to fix it. So in addition to all my other skills, welding, painting, mechanicking, driving a truck, stuff like that, I'm a doctor apparently, or what do you call them, a podiatrist? Something like that. Anyway, I'm going to work on her foot.
Thanks for letting the whole world know that. I appreciate it.
This is an honest channel. We just, whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
And I'm not going to film the actual procedure. But the trick to it is, make sure you got a new disc on your grinder. You ready?
Yep.
Alright, where's the air hose? There it is. Well, did it work?
I hope so.
Does it feel better?
Yeah.
She must trust me pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Not anybody's going at me with a saw and pad on my flesh. Sand pad, sandpaper, sand disc, whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's go to work on the Crosley. Whatever you do, don't push that button. Push it. I mean, don't push it. You gotta push it like a man. Granny.
Oh, where is it? Oh gosh. That is pretty cool. Do something else.
I told you not to push that button. Even though I got the car jacked up and the wheel off, I quit working on the brakes because I remembered I had this old boat horn down in the basement somewhere. And Mrs. Heavy Chevy went and found it. Trouble is, the darn thing don't work. But
Bummer.
I think over here somewhere I got a turbo. And
I need a turbo.
a Ooga horn.
Ooga?
Now wouldn't that be cool right about there?
Yeah. What? 12 volt.
I don't guess that's factory Ford, but I got that in that auction stuff. That auction worked out pretty good for me, even though I still got a bunch of junk kicking around. Ooh. Reflection there. You try the Ooga horn. All you gotta do is take this wire right here and touch it right there. You do it.
Is it okay if I'm touching this metal?
I hope so. Bang!
Stop that.
Just do it.
It's
Hold it on there so it can work.
Alright, leave it on there.
Just put it and then go. Bless your heart. Here, you hold this. Obviously, it don't like to move around. Take it apart and clean it up a little bit. All right, back to the brakes. All right. Go easy with it. Don't rip it, Carl. Easy. Always have to tell her to be careful. Easy. She's strong as an ox.
Either you want it down or you don't. It's in there.
Gentle. Gentle. She doesn't know her own strength. Alright, what I turned the camera on for was to talk about these brake calipers. And those are the strangest things I've ever seen. I don't see any way to bleed the brake fluid. But surely there is. I'm going to go down in my storage area and look. Steve gave me some extra calipers, so I'm going to see what I see. Maybe there's got to be a bleeder screwing them some way, but it looks like to me you adjust them right there, and there's probably a good, I don't know if we can get it so you can see it on camera, but there's quite a bit of space between the pad and the rotor. So maybe if we adjust them up. I had the wife push the brake pedal and the piston moves a fair distance before any braking action happens, so I think maybe all I need to do is tighten them up, but I sure would like to make sure there's no air in the lines. I'm gonna study on it a minute here. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out. This is quite an interesting little car. Here's one of those calipers. It's a Goodyear Hawley type. Just saying all of it, but I don't see no bleeder. Unless it's under there. Let me take one of them off. Here's what I figured out. If you loosen that little nut right there and turn this, notice it's a left-hand thread, turn that clockwise, if my brain is working right, clockwise, it tightens up the brakes. And I was able to tighten them quite a lot. So I bet you that'll make my brakes function if I go around and adjust all the brakes. Trouble is, the rotor is looking a little rough, so I'm going to do a little MacGyvering with a sanding disc and clean them up a little bit. I don't want to chew up the brake pads, which look to be about 1.25 inches round pad. Probably won't last that long. I don't suppose they got those down at AutoZone. I still don't know how you bleed the darn thing, but anyway, let me adjust them and see if we got any pedal. Alright, I got quite a lot of adjustment. I cleaned the rotor up. It's kind of rusty. It looks better on the back. Let me get my light. But now the caliper's leaking a little bit. But this will be good enough to figure out what I'm doing, I guess. I'm gonna go to the other side now. You look pretty in there.
Thank you. Take the Honda off the road and put this on?
I don't know about that.
Why?
'Cause this thing is pretty old technology. Alright, hit the brake one time.
And hold it.
It's working. Okay, let go. That sure is a complicated contraption. You turn that screw right there after you loosen that jam nut and adjust it so it's got a little drag, I guess. And then she just said the brake pedal feels better, so that's good. I guess now I'll put the wheels back on after I grease the front end and then do the back, because it has disc brakes as well, I think. Huh?
Till they run out of brake fluid?
Blake fluid.
Blake fluid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the brakes will work now until we run out of Blake fluid. This one, it appears the only one that was functioning. And it wasn't functioning that much. I did adjust it just a little bit. It had a little bit of drag. The other ones didn't have none. So, let me put this wheel on and check the Blake fluid.
Okay.
And maybe put the voltage regulator on if I can figure that out. Maybe we'll take her for a little tailspin. What do you say? Okay. You'll be happy to know that I filled up the Blake fluid. Actually, it was full. And then I installed the voltage regulator, and now I need to polarize it. So I'm just going to use this piece of wire here and touch it between the battery and the armature and polarize the generator. But I can't do that with just one hand, so I'm going to turn the camera off. Alright, sweetie, crank it up. Turn the key on. Make sure it's in neutral first so you don't run me over. Okay. Okay. Let's see if it's charging. See if I can do that one-handed. Rev it up a little bit. Not charging. I better polarize it one more time. Alright, I polarized it again. Rev it up, sweetie! Working like an alternator, but it is increasing slightly. I don't know. Let's see how that happens. Well, we're riding. They sure ain't got much for brakes, but they do work a little bit. And I'm never driving this thing 100 miles an hour. Alright, let me get back to driving. This is quite a thing. It's kind of fun. Everybody that sees it does a double take. I mean, everybody. I think this is about as fast as I want to go. Oh heck, let's try 55. It's peppier than you think. It pulled that hill back there in third gear. That was pretty funny. Pulling up here, up in front of the Firebird, behind the Firebird, and she's over here mashing the brake, but she ain't got one. I was mashing it too. Well, I tried to put some gas in it, but I only was able to fit 86 cents worth in, so I guess it was full. Cheapest fill up ever. Yep. Reminds me when I was a kid, I had a Trail 70. I'd ride it up to the gas station. It cost like 75 cents to fill it up. The gas tank was under the seat.
Really?
The thing runs good. Purrs like a kitten. But she don't stop too good. It's got a little bit of brake now. It had hardly nothing before. I expect if I was to readjust them, things would be better. But the sun has gone down behind those trees there and it's not so hot. I think I'm going to work on Julie the Dooley a little bit. Looks like the water pump swinging just a little there. You can see that. The steam. I imagine that's to be expected. The style it is. It purrs like a kitten. Don't it?
Yep.